Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. So, on the screen in front of me, you see a man by the name of Christopher Emmanuel Paul, aka CP3, aka the Point God, aka the Skate Instructor? Yeah, that's kind of a cool nickname, man. I'm not going to lie. But regardless, Chris Paul, another year of injuries late in his career, and the downfall of the Phoenix Suns season. A team that traded away Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and all these picks for Kevin Durant at the age of 34, man. And when you do that big type of move, when you affect the depth of your team, you best hope that the player that you traded for and the team that you have assembled post-trade is enough to get it done. And in the playoffs, when you have old players like Chris Paul that get injured, and you don't have the backup to take care of things, then trading for Kevin Durant essentially doesn't mean anything, right? Because you're still limited with your team. And then DeAndre Ayton getting injured and everything, man. Very frustrating for Suns fans and probably Chris Paul fans alike. So, yeah, in the playoffs here, he played 7 games, and when he did play, he wasn't particularly good. 32% from 3. He's always going to take care of the basketball. So 12.7 assists per game. I think at this point, Chris Paul probably has 2 years left in the NBA as a backup point guard, not as a starter. Chris Paul should not start for an NBA team anymore. That's just how it needs to be. If he embraced a role as a backup, I think that's the perfect case scenario. So I did ask you guys over on Twitter to give me your best Chris Paul trades for a chance to be in the video, man. Here's this video. But before we check these out, I actually want to try to put my own together just out of curiosity, see if I can come up with something that's pretty good. So CP3 has $31 million, 2 years left. Is that guaranteed? I'm not sure if that's guaranteed or not, but it does make a trade awfully difficult, and especially if you're also trying to bring in or trying to trade away DeAndre Ayton, that's another $32 million. It's a lot of salary to have to kind of make work here. So I'm not even sure we're going to be able to find a great trade to be had. Because keep in mind, this is with the assumption, in my case at least, that he needs to be a backup point guard. Maybe there's a team along the lines here that'll be like, okay, we would still start him, but we'll kind of see. So you have the Bucks, Celtics, because really you have to think of teams that actually have trade value too, and the right type of contracts to even get him on the team in the first place. I'll say the first team that kind of came to my mind was the Miami Heat here. You do have Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry's 37. He's a year younger at least. So maybe in this case here, the Miami Heat get off of Kyle Lowry. They start Gabe Vincent. You have Chris Paul for a backup. I think that's probably the route I would try to go. And another thing that I'm actually pretty interested in here too is if they could do a 3-team trade with my favorite team, the Detroit Pistons. And I know everybody else is probably going to laugh at me, man. I actually think, where's he at? Killian Hayes. Okay, I don't want CP3 on the Pistons. I don't want that. But as a Killian Hayes fan, and if he's not given the opportunity in Detroit, I wouldn't mind him seeing him as the starting point guard for the Suns. I think his style of play actually fits in really nicely. I think having Katie and Book out there would take away the offensive pressure for Killian Hayes, but his playmaking and defense, it's extra crispy, man. So just a little idea there. But yeah, beyond that, any other teams that's really a solid fit for Chris Paul? I think the Heat would be fine. Besides that, it's he's not going to go to a non-contender. Denver Nuggets. Is there any contracts here that would make sense? Not really. That's the tough part, is matching the $40 million. Grizzlies, Kings, Clippers, going back to that team. Warriors probably not going to work. Lakers, Pelicans. Yeah, man, I think the Heat is the best fit. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. But let's go to some of your guys' trades here. See what you guys are all saying about a potential Chris Paul trade. Also, if you do want to follow me on Twitter at CrispyFlakes2K. Best place to talk with me and everything. So we got Aiden saying Davis Bertans, Tim Hardaway, and draft capital. That does give the Suns more depth. It means they would probably be off of Kyrie. I guess you could do Kyrie and... Well, no, Chris Paul could be Kyrie's backup, which would give you some good assurance there because Kyrie doesn't always play himself. So, interesting. Bones Highland and Terrence Mann. I don't think Bones is on the... Oh, wait, no, he was on the Nuggets. Now he's on the Clippers. That's right. Okay. Trade back to the Thunder. I don't really see them doing that. 76ers rebuild. I should do a rebuild soon. What do we got here, man? We got Chris Paul pick for Thaddeus Young and Fred VanVleet. That's... I mean, if the Raptors decide to go on full-on rebuild, that's not a bad little trade, to be honest. I actually kind of like that. I don't know if does Chris Paul really have a choice in the matter? I don't know if he has like a no-trade clause or something. Chris Paul for Duncan Robinson, Caleb Martin, Kyle Lowry. There we go. You get some more depth there. Caleb Martin would actually be a solid fit for the Suns, I think. Give them a little bit of a hustle player out there. Half a roll of duct tape. CPO to the Pelicans. I would actually love to see that. Going back to where it all started. Larry Nance, Kira Lewis, and Jackson Hayes. I don't really see the Pelicans doing that. CP3 to the Shanghai Sharks. Another trade here. We got traded with the Clippers. So Clipper fans, are you guys like not set on Russell Westbrook? Like you just want to be done with him, or do you want Russell to start and have CP3 as the backup? Because to be quite honest, man, I'm not trading Bones Highland for CP3 at this point. I'm not doing that to I don't know. Maybe I'm just too big of a Bones Highland fan. CP3 to the Lakers, but for what? I don't know what they would trade exactly to get him on the squad. Mike Conley, Taurean Prince. How old is Mike Conley? He's probably, about 35, 36? I mean, it's at least a different look for them. It's a different look. That's not a bad trade. I would consider that. Yeah, that's actually not too bad for both sides. I don't mind that trade at all. CP3 for Kuzma and Gafford. Wizards do need a point guard. I'm trying to think the Wizards aren't going to give up. Well, sign and trade and Gafford, though. Gafford would be a fantastic fit, man, on the Suns. That's the type of center they need for a backup. Or even to start over, maybe even have the Landale Gafford and get rid of Ayton. CP3 for D'Lo? No. CP3 and 3 firsts for retirement home. Melo. Johnny O'Brien. Okay, man, you all being mean now. You guys are all being mean. Paul to 2 bags of nacho cheese Doritos. Make one of them spicy nacho cheese, and maybe you have a deal. All right, this is I already see this is not. Oh wait, well no. Oh, this ain't gonna happen. Come on, man. Who is this? Hoops fan? Markelle Fultz, Jonathan Isaac, Wendell Carter for his Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton, bro. I'm taking Wendell over DeAndre right now, man. I'm not even doing that trade straight up. Kyle Lowry, okay. Schroeder, Max, Christie in seconds. Yeah, that doesn't work salary wise. Chris Paul to the Celtics for Marcus Smart and Grant Williams. I'd rather have Marcus Smart, but then again, the Celtics got eliminated themselves, so maybe they are looking to shake things up. And they already do have, what's his name, man? Malcolm Brogdon, who played really nice in the elimination game. But I don't know, man. Chris Paul's so hard to really dictate because it's $40 million. It's $40 million. So yeah, give me your guys' best trades in the comment section below. Give me your best fit. Thank you all so much for watching. Peace out, my friends.